Howdy folks, thanks for tuning in. Hope y'all doing okay today. So, want to talk about some concepts or facts about cars. Okay, if you were shooting for a certain braking performance, a certain handling performance, acceleration performance, there's multiple ways to go about that. One of the easier ways to do it is to just add bigger brakes, bigger tires, better suspension, and a bigger engine. Issue with that is all of that stuff adds weight. A bigger engine drinks more fuel. And on top of that, suppose you had, say, a 3,200 pound car and you wanted to make it go 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. Not really hard to do. Well, if you had a big old supercharger, you might add 100 pounds to it right on the nose. That's going to change the weight bias of the car, meaning that you'll have to add a stiffer anti-roll bar, maybe stiffer springs. That's going to add more weight to the front. The supercharger is hugely inefficient as far as your fuel mileage, and so you've added more weight to make the car move itself forward. But you've increased your performance. Another easy way to make a car go faster, or another way to make cars go faster, and this is hard to do, especially when you are attempting to meet safety standards, build a car that everybody wants to, that has a wide range of appeal. And so even if it's, hey, I want a sports car, but I want something that I can throw my wife and my kids and our dogs in and, go down the road, you're not going to build that making a lightweight car. But to prove my point, the old Top Gear right before Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond left the show, they had a Caterham Super 7 620R around the track, and 1 metric ton, I have no idea what that comes out to in bald eagle pounds, but 1 metric ton. And this little car had a measly 310 horsepower supercharged 2-liter Ford 4-cylinder with a 6-speed sequential gearbox. Small tires, small brakes, barely enough. I don't know that I could fit in one of these. It has no ABS, no traction control, no stability management, no airbags, no roof, no doors, no windshield, no heat, no AC, no radio. You get turn signals and headlights and brake lights, and I think that's it. Well, anyway, it crushed the lap record on the old Top Gear test track. I said all that to say this. General Motors is building their new Hummer EV. I don't remember what it's called, but a Hummer EV. Pretty cool concept. One of the things that electric cars do when they're MPG certifying them is they don't certify them. They certify them in a term that everybody understands. So basically, it's this calculation where you calculate the amount of energy in a gallon of gasoline, and then you figure out how far that vehicle can go on that amount of energy. It's a little mathy, but it makes it easy for people to understand. Now, I said all that to say this. Ford came out with a plug-in hybrid several years ago, the C-Max Energy and then the Fusion Energy hybrid, kind of at the same time. And when you are running in, like you plug the car into your house at night, you get 20 to 30 miles of pure electric driving range. And when you are on pure electric, you're getting the equivalent to 93 miles to the gallon of efficiency. That's the equivalent. Sorry, I'm getting notifications pop up for my directions. Well, anyway, that's your equivalent miles per gallon, or miles per gallon equivalency. Now, where that gets fascinating, in my opinion, is the best vehicles on the road are Teslas. 106, 109 mpge. The new Hummer electric vehicle has a battery in it that is twice the size and storage capacity of any Tesla. It also has, the battery in that truck weighs as much as my car that I'm in right now, just a battery. It also weighs 8,700 pounds. So due to that, its MPG equivalent is 47 to the gallon. Granted, that is hugely impressive for a massive, massive, massive truck that, in all likelihood, I don't know that the numbers have dropped on it yet, will be able to tow a huge amount of weight, have decent payload capacity, have blistering performance when you compare it to other things in its weight class. But if the point of EVs is to be hugely efficient, a buddy of mine had a Fusion hybrid, and he'd road trip it back and forth to Michigan to visit family a few times a year, and he would get 47 to 49 to the gallon just cruising at 75 miles an hour. And I will say that electric vehicles, they don't shine on the interstate on their miles per gallon. They're the exact opposite of gasoline cars, and they're also the exact opposite of hybrids are the exact opposite too, to a point. It's about the energy recovery on your regenerative braking. So, as an example, when you are driving a gasoline car, when you hit the brakes, your engine just stops injecting fuel. The wheels spin the engine through the transmission, and you're getting infinite efficiency, but you're turning all of that momentum into heat in your brake system. A hybrid starts having the motors resist the rotation of the wheels going down the road, and causes the battery pack to charge up, same as in a full electric car, so you can use that energy later on down the road. Matter of fact, if you were to drive a Tesla from fully charged to fully empty in the city, you would find that it had actually used more energy on the trip than the battery pack is capable of storing from a full charge, just due to recouping all that energy stopping. And that's provided that, you know, you're gentle on the brakes and, you know, driving economically and trying to recover all the energy possible. Anyway, something that I thought was interesting. Oh, the other thing about that GM vehicle being so heavy, one of the issues with heavy vehicles is all the parts that support the weight and have to deal with the weight of the car, brakes, tires, suspension components, either will wear faster, have to be swapped, and have to be swapped more often, or have to be made heavier themselves and be more expensive to produce. So I think the new electric Hummer is a interesting thing, but I find it to be not what EVs were supposed to be about, due to the fact that most people that buy trucks don't do truck stuff with them, which annoys the crap out of me. Like, sure, I have a truck. I only drive it when I have to do truck crap. It sat so long that I had to go buy a battery to put in it when I had to help someone in the family do moving stuff that required a pickup truck. Like, I go out there, it's got the keyless entry. The keyless entry code doesn't work. No lights come on. Nothing. It is dead as a doornail dead. Come on. So that's how much it sits. And like, my wife used it. She was the last person to drive it. She had to take it to go pick up some stuff from Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that while I was at work on night shift a couple weeks ago. And then it's been sitting ever since she parked it, and the next time it's probably going to end up being moved is when I got to go start cutting grass. So that's my opinion on it. You know, if you're going to get an EV, I think that's, you know, your call. I don't think the government should be in the vehicle subsidy business, personally. I don't think, you know, I think that if you want to make it, if the government wanted to subsidize EVs, they should start looking at ways to help manufacturers make them cheaper, whether that's, you know, making it possible to bring that manufacturing here, or, you know, tariffs on stuff like that, reduce tariffs. I don't know all the ins and outs of that business or that side of stuff. But that would be something that I would be doing, you know, helping them to actually get their manufacturing costs down to help them sell it cheaper, versus just, oh, well, we'll give everybody that buys one, you know, $10,000 off. You know, I've paid a lot of money for a lot of cars over the years, and no one ever helped me buy them, with the exception of Dad bought my first truck for me, which his dad bought his first car for him. And so that was kind of his justification for that, is, you know, paying that generational thing forward, I guess. But the second truck I got, I paid for with the insurance money from the first one. Previous episode, shout out right there. And then the next truck I bought, Mom and Dad co-signed the note for me, but I made every one of the payments. And then after that, I've been on my own ever since. So, yeah. I've never helped anybody buy a car. I've never been helped to buy a car. That's what I got on this one, folks. Catch y'all later.